Hi.
Greetings, Adept. At last, I had hoped you'd come sooner. The curse is strong. That you are here at all is a godsend. The creature that has stalked the minds of our savants. Yuala, Kadok, and Ethan. She is here. She has come for me, at last. The possession she used on the savants you encountered. I tried to fend her off.
Why are all of you...
Before you, the sorceress has begun usurping other parts of my mind. I retained a part of myself and made the glyph that took you here.
Why are all of you so bad at asking for help?
When we met in Talarain, I knew then that Savant Inga was right about you. Maybe too right. It is more than chance, Adept, that has brought you into contact with this sorceress before. And it's more than luck, I think, that you survived each encounter.
Like, all of this could have just been stopped if all of you had gotten together after the first savant died and been like, hey, have you guys been hearing weird noises in your head? Because I've been hearing some weird noises in my head. Yeah, we should totally do something about this. No.
She's the one that has stalked the minds of our greatest mages. But there is a more troubling history than that. Once I have been freed, there will be plenty of time to discuss her true nature.
You are dead, my man.
I am not the Archsage without cause. I had prepared myself for this manner of attack. It is how I can speak with you now. She is assuming control of my uncontrolled thoughts. I cannot venture out of this sanctum, lest I fall to her. You must thwart her plans. Take this, the true history of our order. It is the only help I can give you now. As the Archsage, I've trained myself to withstand attacks to my mind. Her previous attempts were weak, not as immediate as this. She does not target my conscious self now. She instead moves to conquer my repressed flaws, my misguided thoughts, and she will exploit them in time. I have been following what has happened to the savants that conducted your initiation. Those poor souls. If this dark sorceress is done with them, she must have learned all she could. She must be near her goal. If you wish to return to my chambers in Rathir, I will accommodate you. But do not wait too long to return. I need your help to defeat this curse. Good. If we are swift, we should be able to break this curse before my mind is completely hers.
Which is exactly why we're having this several minutes long conversation first, because, you know, there's no urgency here whatsoever.
There is more to our history than books and scrolls, but we must solve matters here first. Then I will answer all you ask. The sorceress has taken over some parts of my mind. They will be strong, magnified aspects of myself. Be wary.
Okay, well, I say let's read this book he gave us, and then let's beat the crap out of the sorceress. I think that sounds like a plan. The Dark Empyrean. This book seems familiar to other versions you've seen throughout the school, similar to other versions you've seen throughout the School Arcana. The Fall of the Dark Empyrean. And so it came to pass that in the years of strife, when the tyrant queen Sedanas had sown the fields of Arafel with thigh-deep with blood, 3 unlikely souls found the way out of the dark. Originally every single version spoke of a king. I'm guessing this is the queen we have to deal with right now. The first was a man named Eladon Bloodgood. A Varani shaper, he came to Arafel from far to the north, searching the world for the knowledge of stone. After refusing to build a temple in Sedanas' name, he was cast into prison. The second was a gnome named Maras Torix. A gifted Gnosticant, he had long ago left the safety and comfort of his libraries to travel the world, to learn of things with his own eyes. For teaching a doctrine different from the unquestioning worship of Sedanas and her regime, he too was cast into prison. The third was born deep within the dungeons of Raphir, a young alpha girl named Eleanor Bray, who grew to maturity blinded by the darkness that was her only home. Upon Eleanor Bray's ascendance to adulthood deep within the dark of the Empyrean's prisons, the gifts of elemental magics came to her. In fury, the girl burned the dungeon to the ground. Guided by Masters Torix and Bloodgood, she learned to wield her gift, and together the three of them dared to fight against the Tyrant Queen. Word spread quickly of a new group of masters, mages, and artisans who would teach any willing to learn. In time, others courageous enough to challenge the Empyrean's might came forward, and what had started with a resistance of 3 quickly became 10, then 100, then 1,000. Terrible battles of magic were waged, thousands perished, entire cities were scoured from the face of the world, and untold horrors were birthed as each side tried desperately to craft the means of their victory. The Empyreans sought the destruction of their enemies by any method. No sacrifice was too great, no atrocity too horrid. The darkest and the foulest of arts were pursued, and the cost of the populace was unrivaled by that of anyone's memory. But the light of the three refused to be extinguished. The strength of Master Bloodgood, his wisdom and his skill, set the form and foundation of their hope. The brilliance of Master Torix, his knowledge and his insight, unlocked the chains of their bondage, and the passion of Mistress Brea, her spirit and her fury, lit the way to freedom. What none could do alone, the three achieved together. 7 years after earning their freedom, high upon the heights of the spire of Raphir, they battled Sedanus, and the Dark Empyrean was imprisoned. Too powerful to be destroyed, she was contained beneath what would become the grounds of the Scholia Arcana. Hey, here we go. Sealed away by the arcane glyphs and runes of the three founders. Here she will remain, and you, Archsage, are the only sentinel of her prison, for on this foundation was the Order built, to reach the greatest extents of knowledge, lest the reign of the Dark Empyrean returns again. Guard this wisdom and find a worthy successor. Oh god, why do I have a feeling that's gonna be us? Different paths had led each into the chains of slavery, but it was there that each found strength from the other, and together they found their freedom. And so it was that the Scholia Arcana came to be. Hooray. Alright, let's go. I should probably save. It's literally titled Dream World. That's the name of this place. I do hope this Archsage survives, because I do not want to be in charge of the Scholia Arcana. The procession begins. It has come. What Ephraim has warned me of, the fear that has plagued the mind of every Archsage of our order, has come to pass. She has awoken. She has found a way from her cell. I thought when such time came it would prove to be a more marked event, that we would notice as the harbinger of her freedom. And though I had reports of an initiate whose trial killed some savants and drove others to madness, she did not appear immediately. And that was her greatest triumph. For all that we knew of her, we expected her appearance to be marked by cataclysm and chaos. The raging storm has no need of subtlety and cleverness, for with a whim its winds can rip flesh from bones and burn all in its path. But she knew we would gird ourselves for such assaults, and connive to overwhelm the strongest of our orders from the shadows. And now there are 2 left, myself and the mind of the initiate who was present at her summoning. Even now I feel my mind beginning to falter. Ethan Anger must have fallen, and with him there is but 1 left whom I can support in earnest to assume the mantle of Archsage. Oh, fuck me. But I cannot falter yet. I will summon the once was initiate here, and with aid wrest control of my mind free from the dark sorceress. To have my mind be walked upon is troubling. There are many things in here I wish no one to face or learn, for they are the things I had to rid myself of long ago, when I assumed leadership of the Scholia Arcana. But if she is to be felled, I must be rid of her. Don't worry, I will not look at your porn stash collection. I'm not here for any of that. Whoa! I somehow had the wrong skill activated. There we go. Take all of that. mantle passes. I really wish it didn't. He has passed. After but a few weeks upon attaining the level of savant, I was summoned to the chambers of the Archsage, deep in the cavern beneath our chapter house, and I found him on the floor, struggling for breath but otherwise still. Helped to his senses, he reveals that he was dying, and for Belen had reached out to take Ephraim, he had yet to draw him to death. It was then that he laid everything bare. No truth was omitted, no lie spoken. The true purpose of our order, the true meaning of our values and studies were, after all my life, made plainly understood. And with that he passed, pressing the band of cloth, the ring of the Archsage, into my hand. It was to take the reins, he said. For better or worse, it had to be me. Well, for better or worse, it had better not be me. Because I don't want it. Hey. There we go. An art patronage. Archsage Ephraim has taken me into his confidence once more, for I do not know why. Were I to appraise my skills honestly, I have only a tolerable competency and interest in gemcraft and alchemy. I found some small enjoyment in the art of creating and dispelling wards, but there is only one application of the craft that I truly find myself attracted to and master of: battle magic. At first it was no small shame of mine that, unlike the scholastic brethren I trained with for the majority of my life, I did not wish to live my life always in the library. My father, from what little I recall of him, lived part of his life as a warrior, and I suppose that blood was passed down to me. But still, what use would I be as an apprentice to the Archsage of our order? Should that rank not go to a better-rounded student of magic? I know little of the Archsage's duties. Indeed, I believe it was my inquiries regarding this ignorance that first brought myself to Archsage Ephraim's attention. But should they not act as a custodian to the whole business of the order and not merely one part of it? There are many better candidates amongst my peers who, upon noticing Archsage Ephraim's increased attention to myself, have made similar claims in less polite terms, to be fostered by one as the Archsage. I do not wish a chain of ink and parchment on myself. As long as magic changes, there will always be battles to be fought with it. Yeah, I mean, we need to kick ass of an ancient sorceress, so that's exactly why he picked you.
Persistent, aren't you? From ruins to mountaintops, even in the mind of your pathetic Archsage, who, despite you standing here, has given up hope. In fact, right now he is trying to tell you it is useless to fight Ciara Sedanis. In all the minds I have seen, there have been none that carried such indifference as this Archsage. Does he care about the wars that wage across his land? No. Does he care for the lives of his subordinates? Not in the slightest. He long ago surrendered to the inevitability of my return. Yes, I am the tyrant queen of the Dark Empyrean. The fools of the Scholia Arcana believe I was killed, but the Archsage knows the truth. It is, perhaps, why he has surrendered all hope. He knows I cannot be defeated, only delayed.
Yeah, well, you haven't tried me yet.
You understand so little. All that will die is this Archsage's indifference. He might actually care about you as more than a pawn, then. Do you doubt me, child? Do you doubt the totality of his apathy? Behold the demons that plague this man's mind.
Oh, it's Niskaru. How terrible. I have never fought these before. However shall I survive? Let's go. Okay, now that's enough. Oh, you as well now? Okay, let's go. There. Problem solved. You seem a bit indifferent. Yeah. I mean, if this was the first Niskaru I fought, I might be a bit more concerned, but it's not. So, let's go. And what is... Where is the new one that we got? The world I left, there it is. And if she thought that leaving those flowers pressed in the tome would work, she was right. By the gods, I thought that years of books and tutelage and learning would be enough to prepare me for anything, for the world of troubles and problems that I might eventually have to solve. And they did not. Nothing could have prepared me for her, sitting on a hill and waiting for me as the sun came down, the wind teasing out the red-brown hair that flowed like wine and water, so long for it had never touched a blade in its life. She laughed and it smelled like apple smell. She smiled and it sounded like birds in spring. I only came to test her aptitude to spellcraft, and in those scant seconds before we spoke to one another, I nearly fell so far into her eyes that I could not hope to escape. How could a force as strong as this exist? Am I just a fool in a line of fools that spans centuries? Yes, you are. Disarmed though I was, I carried out my duly appointed task. She laughed and told me that she had no desire to lead a life of craft and books and study, to forsake life as it is lived for life as it might be. And looking into her eyes, I could not come to find her at fault. There is a world out there that is different from one that we of the Scholia lead. I walked away from that world some time ago, and only once, when I met her, have I ever had cause to regret that decision. Alright, let's move on. Oh, come on. Don't be shy. Get closer. There we go. Somebody has been spending way too long studying. Human's talent. Oh god, his name. Professor Aowillin was sore at me today, because my potion was able to cure the aurochs of Cloverblood and Valvian's wasn't. She said I had relied too much on luck to ensure my balances were correct and that Valiant's reagents had wilted in the summer heat. But I know the real reason she's mad is because her prize student isn't as good as the human. The Alpha seem to have wielded magic since always, and humans have had to make do otherwise. But every day I feel stronger and stronger. The Alpha know I'm not the only human that can use magic to this degree, and they know it. They are afraid that they are going to lose the only thing that's kept them lording over us for decades. And Professor Eowyn thinks I'm the face of the coming change. She's afraid of me. She should be. When I was less than 2 and 5, I burned my family's woodshed to the ground with a fort. Jesus. Some of her students had to train for years before they could make as much as a cinder. And even though I'm good at it, I'm not going to spend my life studying potion craft and writing tomes. The heat from that fire still warms my hand. It's a comfort, the only one I still have left. Jesus Christ. Okay, Archmage, you do have some skeletons in your closet. Literal skeletons in your closet. He still has a bone to pick with the book he's reading. Yeah, he has. I'm guessing this is just... Yeah, we can just walk over that. Good. Let's save before we get into our next battle.
And so my attempts to foster his indifference seem to have met their end. It does not matter. I have accomplished all I would have liked to. My freedom is guaranteed, so I can focus my attentions on you. You are my closest friend, after all. You served your purpose well. This body is the incarnation of the Archsage's goals and ideals. For all his aspirations, the man is a slave to his discipline. It is a pity. Had I the time to foster some of these ambitions, he would make a useful pawn, just like you. Do you not understand, child? It was your initiation that freed me. The magic of the spell could not find your potential, and so it chose the greatest power this world has ever known. All you will do is strike down this man's twisted ambition. The world might thank you, in time. After all, you see all the parts of himself this Archsage ignored to reach this point. Let us see if they were worthy sacrifices. You will know my fury!
Yeah, let's go. Oh, seriously? In the last moment you teleport away? Screw you. I cannot even loot him. I cannot loot him either. The wild flame. Mommy isn't crying. The funny men with pointed ears are taking me. And Mommy isn't crying, but she looks like she will. Isn't she sad? Why isn't she being sad? She might be mad at me still for what I did to the woodshed. But it wasn't my fault. I didn't mean to. I just got so scared when that dog got near me that I threw my hands up. And then there was fire and heat and the woodshed was on fire. And I didn't know. I didn't want to make it, but the dog caught fire too and I couldn't stop it. I could only stare and watch as everything started to burn around me. And I was sorry. I was so sorry, but it wasn't enough. Daddy found me and hit me hard. Once in the eye and once in the back. And I told him, I said, Daddy, I didn't mean to. And Daddy, anyways, I was sorry. And he kept hitting me until I stopped crying. But Mommy just stood there. And she was crying, but it was quiet, and it was to herself. And it's like watching her now as they are taking me away. They have me by my hand, and they are leading me away, and none saying goodbye, and no one saying I'll miss you, and no one saying they love me. I am put in the care of strangers, and I'm going away forever to learn how I made things burn. And I'm sorry, Mommy. I'm so very sorry. Oof, that's rough. Scared kid with magical potential accidentally burns down woodshed and gets hauled off to some magic school. That's like, yeah, no. That's gotta suck.
Well done, Adept. I no longer feel the prying of Sardanis on my mind. You have freed me of her. Thank you, Adept. By freeing me of her influence, I can distill for you those thoughts you have liberated. From my ambition, I can impart to you an indomitable resolve. From my indifference, I can craft a fearless impartiality. The choice is yours. I am the Archsage, but I am also a human. There were certain flaws of character that I had repressed. Sardanis intensified those flaws until they threatened to overcome me. By destroying them, you freed me of these flaws. I can give you the knowledge of this freedom.
Well, the thing is, I think you're free of her because she is completely free now, so we actually have a bigger problem. But honestly, I think my character has enough fearlessness. I mean, look at that. There's no fear. There's nothing behind those vacant eyes. I choose discipline.
Indeed. You have shown enough of it on your own for one lifetime. But we will need all we can muster to face the coming storm. Now, are we able to depart? We have much to do in order to begin. Good. When we return, speak with me. The sorceress will not be suffered any longer.
Let's go, old man.